Hey guys, it's the Unsmooth Criminal. I'm back with a newish concept. I did a version of this where I was known as player, and what if I was in My Hero, and I never finished that. It makes sense because I lost interest in my own stories. I lose interest in my own stories without you guys' help in saying what stories I should finish. But this is going to be, hopefully, a story you guys want me to finish. And this is going to be, what if deku was the game master? And you guys are probably thinking, what do you mean game master? Like the old guy from Black Clover who has game master magic? No, not him. I'm talking about reality warping Quirk. So, there's a SCP that, in the SCP Foundation, that whenever someone mentions anything of it, they forget what they're doing or forget anything about that thing. So, I'm going to use that concept because it's a reality warping concept. I'm going to use that concept to build upon for the foundation of this Quirk. Quirk, Game Master. Ability, warps reality into a game. So, this is going to be a change from canon. So, female Deku does look like the picture. She has a mutation quirk, and she doesn't know what the name of her quirk is. No one knows what the name of her quirk is, except for her mother. And she's a complete gaming nerd. She's played every game that you could possibly think of. She gets into UA, like canon. She protects Uraraka from the giant robot, and Uraraka is like, yay, thank you. The only difference is Hagakure has the Cheshire quirk, and Shota and Ida are both females. It's going to be important later. So, we start at the first day of school, and one thing that her mother has never done before was take away her console. And she was currently playing it all night, and she's sleeping in, the main character. I'm going to say, She is, her name, thinking. No, not that one. You guys think of a name. So she was sleeping in, and her mom's like, okay, I gotta get rid of it. So she takes the console and hides it somewhere. And she wakes up. She normally plays like a few minutes before she goes to do anything. She didn't see her console. So she started playing on her console. And her mother walked in the room and saw her. She's up and playing on her console. I was like, why do you have your console? And she goes, it's been here since I woke up. And her mother's like, oh crap. Yeah, she warped reality again. And she goes, okay, well, you're going to be late for school. And she looks at her watch and goes, well, you are late for school. And she goes, yeah, I know. She goes, then why are you still here? And she goes, fine, I'll leave. So she packs up her backpack and she runs off. She gets to school. And she gets a massive headache. She hears three things. She hears one of her favorite game's intros, another one of her favorite game's intros, and the theme music for another game. she hears, "So you want to hear a story, eh?" Rip and tear. And the music for Ark, Survival Evolved, at the exact same time. And she's like, what the hell's going on? And all of a sudden, the sun goes out. Everything goes out. Not in our Quirk, by the way. Everybody's doing the first day of school like normal. Everybody forgot who the last person is. They think they just have 19 people in class. And they go upon their day. In the reality warp, she sees a message. It says, "Welcome, player and master. The game world has been created. Your choice of worlds has been merged." And she's like, what? And so she looks around and she sees that her entire world... Oh, crap. I just mowed my back lawn, so there's stuff in the air. So if you hear me sneeze, sorry. And she looks around and sees a deserted island. And she looks at what she has in her hands, because she has stuff in her hands. Her dominant arm, her top right arm, has a thing on her wrist. Her bottom right arm has a stone. Her bottom left arm has a pistol. Sorry. Sorry about that. Her bottom left arm has a pistol. And her top left arm has a shotgun. So she's like, okay then. And she recognizes the landscape and she's like, what is going on? So she runs over to a bush and picks up a few berries from the bush because she's getting hungry. So she eats it. And she, on instinct, did not eat the white berry or the black berry. That's the colors, not actually the name of the berries. On instinct. So she just put those like in a dimensional pocket she had. Because she just put it out in the middle air and dropped it. And it said on the left of her vision, added such and such to inventory. She's like, okay. And she's supposed to be freaking out, but she doesn't know why she's not. So she continues with this behavior and she builds a thatch house with stone processing, metal processing, and so on. And she hears a roar from outside her house. And she runs out seeing what it is. And it's a Dilophosaurus. And it spits at her. And she moves out of the way because she's been using her little device to upgrade stuff. Her strength, weight, health, speed, hunger, thirst, things like that. Fortitude. So her first decision was to get fortitude up to 50. Her second decision was to get health up 50 points. Then strength up 50 points. Then speed up 50 points. And she keeps doing this. Health, strength, speed. Health, strength, speed. And by this point, she has a completely stone house. Oh, crap. Completely stone house. And she has a primitive rifle. A metal sword, a metal hatchet, metal pickaxe, and darts. She doesn't have bullets, she has darts. So she goes out and she's like, I need to do something. And she sees a demon. And the demon runs at her and attempts to rip her apart, but she just stuffs the shotgun in its mouth and blows its head off. And she's like, okay. No wonder I have the Doom shotgun. And she sees when she blew its head off as she gained ammunition. She's like, okay, that's strange. And she's walking around the island that she's on, and she sees a few dinosaurs from Ark. It's mainly Ark creatures. And then she walks upon a man-made structure. And this structure is completely and utterly defended with primitive spikes, traps. And she's like, what's in there? And she hears someone say, salt the flesh, or rip the flesh, salt the wound. And she's like, so Borderlands is in here too. She's like, okay, that's strange. So she's like, okay, so I need to find an echo device to see what my ability is. And maybe I could somehow link the echo device to this. Maybe. And so she gets ready, and she goes in with the Doom shotgun. And she's starting to blow their heads off. Psychos are running at her. She's grabbing them by the head and slamming them into the ground. And she's doing all this and making such a fuss and racket there that a band of a group of raptors show up. And so she sees these raptors and she's like, okay, so I need to find a group to help me hunt. So she pulls out her primitive rifle and shoots them. And she hits them with the darts. A few darts into the neck, and they go down asleep. And she's currently giving them food, meat. She's feeding them meat, and they eat it willingly. And when they wake up, they see that she's feeding them and that she's nice, so they start trusting her and following her. So she's tamed a group of raptors, 5-6 raptors, and she trains them to hunt food for her. And she's like, what is going on? Why am I here so long? It's been roughly 3 years for her. In the real world, it's been roughly 3 weeks. So the heroes versus villains happened. Bakugo went up against female Ida and Uraka instead of her against everybody else. This is going to get good, though. I promise you. And she goes, it's another year after, and it's another week in the real world. They're about to go to the USJ, and she gets a care package. And it says what to do to get out. Because she's been wanting to get out and talk to her mom again. But she also wants to have the creatures come with her. Like the raptors, her Dillo, or Dodo. Dilophosauruses are jerks. Her Dodo. Oh my god. There's a primitive armadillo. Whatever. I guess it's called a dodo. No, dodos are the birds. Dodicarus, I think. But the primitive armadillo. And she's played with mods more often than not for Ark. So all the mod items are in this game for her. And she starts going to the tech mods and the magic mods. And she starts doing all these crazy things. And she finally gets the care package and she sees that she needs to go kill bosses. from base game and then all these mods. And she's like, okay, I will do that. And then it says once you beat Ark, you have to beat Borderlands. Once you beat Borderlands, you got to beat Doom. She's like, okay, Doom is the last one to beat. So she goes through it, and she's gotten a sizable army of dinosaurs, mainly raptors, because their speed, and she buffed just strength on them. So they can run by, rip them apart, run away. And she has one Tyrannosaurus Rex. And this Tyrannosaurus Rex has only health buffed. All of its points went into health. Well, and speed, because you can only do 255 points into health, or one stat. Or is it 250? Oh, crap. So she buffed as all she can into health. And she's about to kill the last boss when a care package drops in front of her and says, if you want to stay in the Ark world for a little bit to get as many pets as you want, because she could summon them when she's out of the worlds. And she sees this and goes, okay, I'm going to stay here for a little bit and get my pets ready to go. And it says in the manual, or the book that she got, that it said that she'll be able to summon them via the diamond on her right arm. And she goes, cool, let's do that. So, in this one, she goes through. The Doom shotgun is just on her back at all times. The Borderlands pistol's out at her hip all times. Because the Borderlands pistol doesn't work on the dinosaurs, nor the demons. Demons are only affected by the Doom shotgun. The Doom shotgun can affect the humans in the Borderlands world and the demons, not the Ark monsters. But the Ark items can always affect the Doom and Borderlands creatures. So, she reads the manual of starting the next world after she kills this last boss, and she sees that she can pick two subclasses, or two classes. And she sees the Buzz-Axe Rampage and Gunzerker. So she's like, ooh, I'm going to take Gunzerker and Buzz-Axe Rampage. And so when she gets into the next world, she gets one echo device, and it shows two screens at once. Because she's already killed the last boss, and she freed the Ark. So she moves on to Borderlands. She moves on to Borderlands 1 first. So she has Brick's punching ability first. So she clears out Borderlands, defeats the Destroyer. Then she has Borderlands, the pre-sequel. She clears that out. Didn't choose a subclass. She cleared that out. Very easy. And each time she gets a new SDU, it stacks upon the last games. She had to complete all the DLCs for Borderlands 1, all the DLCs for the pre-sequel, and now she's on Borderlands 2. And she sees the book saying you have to complete all the DLCs for this game too. So she gets the echo device from Claptrap, and Claptrap was about to start rolling, so she picked up Claptrap and ran to his home, put him down, and he goes, thank you. And she goes, don't think about the belly button thing. And he goes, I do wonder what it's like to have a belly button. She goes, God damn it. So, she's in Borderlands world. It's been 20 years now. Everybody's graduated from UA. It's been 20 years in the real world, but like 100 and some odd years for her. Maybe thousands of years. hundreds of years, because each year is 52 weeks or it's 52 years for each week or each year in real world. It's been 20 years in the real world. So she finally gets to Jack, and he was about to go, ha ha ha, you can't, I'm so close, the warrior's almost done. And she just walks up to him, grabs him by the neck, slams him into the ground, slamming his head into the ground, plastering it all over the ground, and a book appears in one of her hands, and she reads it and says, you gotta beat it on every difficulty. And she's, oh crap. And that was normal mode. She's only level 36. The warrior still shows up. She just jumps at the warrior, and Lilith is seeing this whole thing and actually reacting. And she reacts like, holy crap, she's strong. And the only combination she's used is the Gunzerker with the grog in one of her left hands and a buzz axe in one of her right hands. And then 2 other guns in her bottom 2 hands. So she can Gunzerk with 3 guns and a buzz axe. So she's kind of overpowered. So she's running through, gunning things down, slicing them up if they get too close. And she gets to Ultimate Vault Hunter mode, and she's about to kill the last guy for the Commander Lilith DLC. I'm not going to spoil his name because I kind of forgot it. But the Commander Lilith DLC is the last DLC and the last campaign you do in Borderlands. So she's about to kill the last guy, and it says in a book before she can enter the area, because it's blocked off right now, you got to go to OP levels first. She's like, damn it! So she goes to Digistruct Peak. She runs it 10 times. 10 times. She's at level 82 or 80, and her items are at level 82 because OP10 level 82. She's got an OP10 grog. She's got OP10 and Butcher, Interfacer, and she's still meleeing. She has every skill unlocked on the Krieg trees, and every skill unlocked on the Salvador tree. So, she's kind of overpowered. And she walks into the place, and he's like, ha ha ha, you can't kill me, I've already absorbed the key. And she goes, bruh. She brings out the anti-faction, no, I think she brings out 3 effervescents that increase damage 20-fold. And she uses all of her skills. She activates Buzz Axe, slams a few enemies, killing them. She increases the gun damage. And she just looks at him with 1 grog shot and goes, bye, and shoots. 1 grog shot of a rocket launcher. No, of an assault rifle, because she had mods installed for the... she had the unofficial patch installed, which increased some drop locations and increased some other loots. And when she did that, it gave her a book in front of her. And she's like, God damn it. Now I'm on to Doom. And she opens it and sees that she can use all the Borderlands skills in the Doom world, but can't use the Borderlands guns in the Doom world. Except for one. And she looks at the gun's name and she goes, God frickin' damn it. Why is the only gun the hardest one to get on this entire goddamn list? And she flips the next page and goes, ha ha ha. You know I'm your subconscious, the game master. Ha ha. And she goes, oh god damn it. So she goes back to Bunker. She farms up a 94 sham. Takes her a few years. She puts it on. Then she goes to Vermivorous, or Vermi if you guys want to say his name correctly. She goes to Tundra Express, farms Vermi, gets a OP10, and this is going to be strange, but she gets an OP10 non-elemental Norfleet. And she looks at the book and it says, only Norfleet able to be brought. non-elemental. First one she gets, non-elemental, OP10. And she's like, fudge yeah. And so she puts all of her guns in her inventory and goes, okay, I'm ready. And clicks the button that says go to the next world. And she's thrown directly in. And the book appears in front of her saying, Norfleet is in inventory. Only has that amount of shots. Does same damage as in Borderlands 2. And she goes, okay, so I'll save it for the bosses. So she goes through Doom, but she has 2 of every gun. She has one for her top right arm set and one for her bottom right arm set. And she's questioning that, except for the minigun. What she gets is quadruple the ammunition. First one she gets is the mobile turret bay, or the mobile turret. And she can run it, she could still run as fast as when she was in Ark because she keeps those skills. So she's going through Doom. Then it says, oh, you got to do Eternal too. And she goes, God dang it. She goes to Doom Eternal. So the only gun that the book said would be gotten rid of is the BFG 9000. And she starts laughing her ass off. And looks at the magazine that's on the main thing and goes, yeah, it's the BFG 10,000. It's 1,000 above 9,000. And she puts it back down and she goes on her way. And she knows where everything is in these games because she's played it. She doesn't even know how many times. So she goes and collects everything. And what she wanted was a Doom suit. She wanted a specific modded Doom suit. And this mod that she added into Doom Eternal that breaks the game, almost literally, makes this Doom suit costs 1 Sentinel Power Core, because you need to collect those. But that Sentinel Power Core allows her to get every upgrade immediately. So she got that Doom suit immediately, put it on, and it fit perfectly. Fit like a glove. And the caption underneath the suit said, it still fits. If anybody knows the Doom Eternal Doom suit that I'm talking about, good for you. So she had this suit on, and she goes through the game, and she has the helmet on. And she does the scene at the end of Doom, and stabs the last guy. And she says the voice line of Doom. So the drone that has been dropping all the upgrades off comes down with one more upgrade. It's a book. And she reads this book and it says, congratulations, you've passed all the trials that you gave yourself subconsciously. I'm sending you back in time. She goes, you better not take away all my stuff. And it goes, sending you back in time to when you first left the real world. You keep all your stuff. You keep all your guns, but they're non-lethal. And she goes, that makes sense. And you keep all your abilities and skills. She goes, ooh, that makes sense. And it says the end part, all skills are non-lethal now. Because you want to be a hero, don't you? And it has a choice, yes or no. And it has a no. You stay in game forever. And she goes, huh. Yes. And someone was walking by her, and it was female Todoroki, and she sees her just immediately appear with a different suit on. And she just keeps walking forward, and like, okay. So the real world never happened. This is the one with One For All attacking UA in this timeline. Because One For All didn't attack UA. All Might successfully passed on his quirk before he was eventually killed by One For All. And Bakugo went on a revenge trip to kill One For All. And he finally killed One For All. And yay, the world's free. But we go back in time to the first day. And she is buff as hell. She's got massive muscles compared to what she originally had. She was all skin and bone originally. She got massive muscles. Just walking, she's fast. But she's slowed herself down considerably. She's got a buzz axe on the back of her that's completely dulled down. She's got the thing in her arm, and Aizawa asks, you don't look like anything of the picture I got for a girl that looks kind of like you. And she goes, well, I am that girl. I finally understand what my quirk is after, how many years? 12? Yeah, 12. And he goes, okay, what is your quirk? And she goes, Game Master. And he goes, and she goes, it's a reality warping quirk. And she pulls out the Doom shotgun and goes, see, reality warping. And he goes, okay. That doesn't really tell me it's reality warping. It just tells me that you can summon a gun. And she goes, fine. So she flicks Aizawa and goes, 30 minutes in that world is 3 seconds in this one. So let's wait. 3 seconds later, time flows back 3 seconds because Bakugo was about to slam his desk like, nerd, what are you doing? Oh, sorry. He slammed his desk, which made her freak out, but she was about to blow his head off with a shotgun that wasn't going to actually blow his head off. And Aizawa, his eyes widened once she flicked him. And he goes, okay, I understand it now. And she goes, however much time you spend in those worlds does not aid you in the real world. He goes, okay then. And she takes off her helmet and shows her face. And he's like, okay, so you are the girl. So your seat's in the back. And she goes, okay, I'll be in the back just tinkering with stuff. And he goes, okay. Don't mind me. So they go to the ball throw. And she picks up the ball and says, do you have anything heavier? And he goes, no. She goes, okay, can I use the ball sack over there? And he looks over at Mineta and he goes, I understand where you're going with this, but no. He goes, damn. And remember, Mineta knows exactly what happened. Because in Borderlands 1, 2, the pre-sequel, Borderlands, I also had her go through 3, but 3 is still slightly new. New content's always coming out for 3. So I'm not saying that one. And 3 all had a gun called the Elephant Gun. Or in 3, it's called the Hunted. And so she is looking at this wall and looking at this hole in the wall, and she goes, hey, Jiro. And Jiro walks over going, what? She goes, can you tell me when he's right next to the wall? And she goes, sure. And she's like, if I use the Trespasser, it's going to hurt a lot worse. Nah, I won't use the Trespasser. So she pulls out the Hunted from Borderlands 3 and looks down the hole, and Mineta is trying to look through the hole, and she sees him because she has really good eyesight. And she's like, gotcha, bitch. And she pulls the trigger and lets the shell fall down, and they all see the shell fall, and the shell just disappears. I'm like, what the hell? And she goes, oh, don't worry about that. That's part of my quirk. And they hear someone screaming out on the other side. And she goes, 3, 2, 1, and he's knocked out. The screaming just stops. Bakugo on the other side knocks Mineta out because he's being too loud. So, as I was like, okay, All Might, I know you're behind that corner. And All Might goes, oh, damn, I'm found out. So he comes out. Oh, I am here. And everybody's freaking out like the All Might. And she goes, can I use you as a weight? And he goes, sure. And so he walks forward, and she grabs him by the back of the shirt and says, "Hold this." And he holds the ball, and she goes, this is going to be very strange. So she flicks Aizawa, and she goes, "Okay, so now that I have the measurement, ready, All Might?" And he goes, sure. And she throws him as hard as possible, and he breaks sound barrier a few times. And he goes into outer space. He dies. And she goes, "Okay, it's infinite." And she takes out her phone, which is part of her reality warping quirk, and takes a picture. And she hands the phone back to Aizawa and goes, 3, 2, 1. And it's back to before she threw All Might. All Might's currently behind the corner, like nothing ever happened. And she walks up to Aizawa and goes, "Done." And he goes, "Okay. I see the picture. Good." And she goes, "You're welcome." And he goes, "Now, let's continue with it." And everybody's like, "What? What? She didn't even throw a ball." And Aizawa goes, "Yes, she did. In the past timeline." And I was like, "Oh, what?" So I'm going to end it there. Hopefully you guys enjoyed. If you guys did, like the video. If you guys didn't, maybe check out my other content. You'll like that one better. Talk to you guys later.